and you during this journey with your now husband, the amount of time between your ex and your new husband, um, where did the dogs fall into play?
That, you have those like sort of epiphany moments in your life and you don't know why or, why now. It really was. It was my daughter had gotten Brody, our little Australian Shepherd, as with her. She had her boyfriend, and they got this dog. She was going off to college, and they were gonna like split parenting this dog. Well, she decides when he drives her to college the first day to break up with him. And guess where the dog is? The dog is now with me.
Yes.
And so I just got to adopt my sweet Brody, and he's now 10.
Oh.
And then my little Chihuahua, she came 7 years ago, and this is like sort of in that recovery, stage where I just always wanted a Chihuahua, found her, and they've taught me so much. They taught me unconditional love. They taught me spontaneity. They taught me don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff.
Yeah.
They taught me be playful, have fun, like do what you want when you want.
Yeah.
And as I was watching them, when I'm going through all of this, it just was that idea light bulb moment where I thought, man, we can relate this. Everybody has dogs. Everybody has animals. Even if it's not dogs, you've seen dogs or cats even. I mean, cats are a little bit different, but they're special in their way as well, and they're just as loving, a little more conditionally loving, I think, than the dogs. But it really, as I just watched them, I just started writing these chapters down and thinking, oh, well, we can talk about this. Oh, look, they go out into the yard and they play with each other and they get along, and then the next minute they're just laying down taking a nap. So it just evolved to the first book, which is My Dog is More Enlightened Than I Am.
Yes.
That title, of course, is because that's what I thought. I'm like, gosh, you guys are so much more enlightened than me. How can I be more like you?
Yeah.
And so that was the first book. And then everyone was saying after the first book, Maureen, after all you've been through with relationships, you really need to write this book. You really need to tell people what not to do.
Yeah.
I'm not the psychiatrist who went to school for college for 4 years to learn about marriage and relationships. I'm the girl who lived it for 40 years.
Yeah.
Unhealthily. I have the checklist of what not to do so you can hone in on what to do.
Yeah.
So that's how the second book, excuse me. So that's how the second book, My Dog is My Relationship.
Yeah.
My Dog is My Relationship Coach came to be. And this is actually my granddoggy, Callie.
Oh my gosh, what a great picture.
Which is really funny. This is my best friend's bedroom.
Yeah.
And those are my feet and her ex-boyfriend's feet.
Ah!
Which is so hilarious because we had the cutest feet because my husband's and my best friends were not cute. So we were under a down comforter in 107 degrees in the summer getting these pictures taken.
Wow.
Little backstory.
So cute.
Just a little fun backstory that this is not just a clip art cover. So
100%, 100%. So I want to ask, one of the main things that I love to hear when, after I hear somebody's story is just kind of, people realize most people realize when they're in a dark spot. They're like, I'm in a dark spot. Got it. I need to get out of the dark spot. Got it. How? Can you share with us maybe like 3 steps, like the 3 steps that you took to overcome your past and like start to heal?
Oh, absolutely. And they're so simple, but they're so effective. The first one was me just writing in a journal and writing down how I was feeling, how angry I was, how dumb I felt, um, things that I wouldn't do again. It was just this release finally to say, yeah, this needs to come out. I need to own it. I need to own it. So the first thing was the journaling and the accountability, I think was a big thing for me. And it's funny that I was asked in a previous podcast that she said, when you divorced your first husband, what did what did you tell everyone? And I said, well, that he cheated on me. And she said, how come you told everyone he cheated but not that he had abused you? And I said, because when I tell people he cheated on me, he looks like the jerk. When I tell him I was abused, I look foolish. So
Yes.
that was a realization for me. I went, oh my gosh, that's why. I There was too much shame associated with the abuse, and there was more, it was easier to blame him for the cheating than for me to say, oh, well, I have to take accountability for being abused and for putting up with it and for allowing it, because you get treated the way, that you allow yourself. So
Wow.
um, so she says, what do you mean by accountability? Accountability is, what part did I play? So journaling and taking accountability was just put it all out there, put your shame out there, put your guilt out there. I had to deal with a lot of guilt with the parenting with my children, that I chose a bad partner. My accountability was I made choices and I didn't think them through. So even though I was a product of what I was programmed to be, I always say, don't be mad at the sculpture, try to understand the artist. And so here we are, this sculpture, and we're mad at what we became, what we were created to become based on our experiences, upbringing, things we've heard and seen. And so really it was me saying, I'm the common denominator. What do I do? What do I do that I can change now? So how do I stop the insanity cycle? Doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Yeah.
After that, step two for me was, like I told you, it was just being alone, being comfortable. I had never been out to eat by myself. I had never been to a movie by myself. I had never gone to a function without a partner by my side. So overcoming a lot of this insecurity and building this self confidence
Mhm.
was huge.
Yeah.
And then you had to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And that was step two, was I've got to do things that I've never done before, that are really nerve wracking and anxiety causing. But once I did it, it was empowering. It was like, it got easier every time, it just got that much easier. And then number three was the learning. So it was research, 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 read those self help books, take those courses.
Yeah.
Uh, I started taking those psychology courses and learning more. One of them I took was narcissistic behavior in relationships. I mean, what better than
Yes.
so, to integrate my coaching, to have my education as well as my experience? It's so well rounded. So I have a better view of what all is entailed in that. So really learn, 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 learn. Don't be afraid to dive into, your own coaching, your own, counseling or therapy. I mean, I think it's almost like, breaking that egg. Once you crack it's bound to just come apart. And so I think we have to kind of crack the egg of our psyches and just say, okay, it's wide open now. How do I fix the things that are inside?
Yeah.
And that was really empowering for me to establish further the trust in myself, because I didn't have trust in myself up until then. I didn't believe I was capable of making good choices. I wasn't capable of, knowing what a healthy relationship looked like. I didn't have one. My parents didn't have. I mean, they're still married 57 years now, but it's not a relationship or a marriage that I wanted um, to copy. And they're very old school. My mother is very subservient to my father. There's very divided male and female roles in the house. Lots of double standards when we grew up. My brother
Mhm.
had one chore: take the garbage out. My sister and I had to clean the entire house, do the dishes, make the beds, vacuum, laundry, right?
Yeah,
I mean, so of course, what did I do? I took that out into the world and got with men who had that same belief, where I have
got
to
it.
do everything and they don't have to do anything. And
Yep.
my father wasn't an alcoholic, but he definitely drank. That was a very common occurrence. He had a band. They would play in our. They turned our garage into a music room, and I would, go grab the beers for everybody. I was the little runner, and I would crack them and take my sip and hand it to them. I mean, it was alcohol was normal. So I didn't go out into the world thinking alcohol was bad.
Got
So
it.
it's all that programming. It's all
Yeah.
that stuff that you're not even aware of that's been implanted, really, that you can't be mad at yourself and you can't criticize yourself for becoming what you were programmed to become. The only time you take accountability is when you put the mirror up and say, this isn't working for me. Now it's your choice. Now you can make the change.
Yeah. 100%. I totally agree with that.